Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hey Big Hawk, howdy. Steve-O, PH. Nice to see you guys, as always. Darlene, Cheyenne, how you doing? Vanetta hit me up. She said she's taking the night off. Did she let you know? So no Vanetta tonight. And Grant from South Africa. I've been talking to so many South Africans today. They hate me. They really hate me. I am extremely unpopular in South Africa today. Hey, CyberDoc. Hey, Ben. Hey, Mad Mike. They don't like my laughter at all. They don't like my laughter at all. Oh, hey, Tony. Oh, thanks, pal. The thermal power plant hit did not affect me. Thank you, Big Hawk. Hey, Super Chip. I do love Dublin, boy. Dobro večer, Tisno. Hey, Sarah. Ciao, ciao, bello. Hey, bro. What do you know? Yeah, especially that Musk cunt. Oh, I can't say that, can I? What did I say? Can't. Musk can't think he's that way. Hey, Billy boy. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, pal. Today. So, guys, there is so much going on, and I am so far behind. Fitzy. Dark Irish is here, everybody. He represents Uncle Fred's used condom business. Remember, if you buy a 10-pack, you can turn them inside out and get 20 out of them. Fitz, you are a freak, boy. Billy Bob Baloney, how you doing, pal? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Blah. Dude, I just saw it. I just laughed my ass off. So whatchamacallit, that's an inside joke. Ignore that. But guys, I do want to thank, so a couple things. Vanetta is off for the night. Good for her. I told her have a great time. Cheyenne is here. PT is here. John Williams is here. Best moderator team, and Jay, of course. Hey, Jay, is here. Best moderator team on the Tickety Talk. Hey, Eli. Eli, I was looking at the list. You have a few days to wait before it's your sponsorship day. I'm sorry to say. 3 weeks, I'm way behind. I'm not sure how I'm going to catch up. But tonight is our sponsor tonight, who we should all thank, is Lars from Encino Tech. Really appreciate it, Lars. Thank you for your assistance in getting the visa done. That was really a big deal to me. There's Daniel Ballard, who was our sponsor last night, or the night before, maybe. Bobby, I think, who was last night. Fitz is here, who was a couple nights ago. And, and Travis is here. So we got the whole team here. Travis, good to have you here, pal. Vanetta took the night off, so we could probably use another hand. That's for sure. I don't know if you guys saw it. But last night there was a big missile and drone strike on Ukraine. Not as big as they have been, it's true, but it was a big one. 82 missiles and drones, 40 drones and 42 missiles were fired at the territory of Ukraine last night. And their objectives were energy and public transport infrastructure. And so the three biggest energy producers in the country all suffered losses. For Centron and Energy, their final thermal power plant was destroyed. They had operated 3 power plants in the country. All 3 of them are now destroyed. The company is essentially denied all of its infrastructure. All of its infrastructure has been destroyed. DTEC, the largest of the energy companies in Ukraine, reported that its electrical substations and generation capacity had been hit and compromised. And at this time, 80% of the thermal power plants in Ukraine are offline. They are either completely destroyed or they are offline. Now, the good news there is the Lithuanians. The Lithuanians used to operate a bunch of these thermal power plants, these Soviet-era thermal power plants. And the Lithuanians have modernized their infrastructure because they live in the real world, unlike the Russians. And so their decommissioned power plants are now being deconstructed and packed up and sent to Ukraine for spare parts to help rebuild some of this. And so that's a huge win to have friends like that can come through for you in a time of need. And big thanks to the Lithuanians. I mean, hats off to Lithuania, boy. They're really coming through. Last night's attacks were focused on Lviv and out west, but that did not stop the Russians from striking Mykolaiv, Odessa, Kharkiv, Nikopol, and one other place for sure. It was a total of 20 cruise missiles, 6 hypersonic Kinzhals, 12 S-300 missiles from Belgorod. That's what struck in Kharkiv. 40 Shahed drones and 4 X-59 missiles out of Zaporizhia. And I appreciate the fact, Karina, that you were worried today because it was a bad day. It was not a good day. It's a bad day. It's a bad day. There's no two ways about it. Now, in good news, the European Parliament, in a 515 to 63 vote, voted to not pass a budget until some patriots got ponied up for Ukraine. There's over 100 Patriot batteries in Europe, and no one is using them. Come on. For the love of God, put them where they are needed. Thank you, Eli. Hey, Matty Wright. Hey, Feisty. Hey, Feisty's here. Hey, Feisty. Hey, Richard Prexis. Good to see you, pal. That's a big deal. That's it. Now, if they follow through on this, and if we can just get, Kuleba's asking for 7, just 7 more Patriots to complement the 3 that are here, and to guard the biggest cities, especially Kharkiv, which is so desperate for air defense. If we can get 7 Patriots into the country and get them up and running, it'll make a big difference in terms of the effectiveness of these kinds of scaled strikes. Geez, you would think we'd be able to pony up 10. It burned my ass, boy. It burned my ass. The one trip that Putin has taken since the ICC warrant was, if it was even him, it probably wasn't, of course, was to the United Arab Emirates, right? He went to the UAE for something, whatever. And it occurred to me while he was there, the UAE has 4 Patriot batteries. Ukraine only has 3. Putin was more protected by American Patriot batteries when he was in the UAE than the entire country of Ukraine is every fucking day. That really burned my ass, boy. In other good news today, yeah, I'm aware. I mean, the things happening in the United States are insane. They're just insane. In other good news today, I just posted a video for those of you that are interested in this kind of thing on the production of refined oil products in Russia over the last 3 months. And we know that the strikes against the oil refineries have meant about a 15% reduction in refining capacity. However, when we look at the actual numbers, diesel is down about that. The production of diesel is down about 15%. The production of gasoline is off nearly 25%. Russia can't afford to have gasoline production down 25%. My eyes are red. Yeah, dude, I'm fucking exhausted. You know, we got back onto lives on Tuesday, right? So I was up until about 2:30 in the morning on Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, I had a 7 o'clock call, which meant I had to get into a cab at 6:30 to be down in Padil at 7. We shot until about 6:30 p.m. And then I did those videos at the Brazilian place, right? Because I couldn't come home and cook at that point. There was no way. I just wanted to eat. So I took myself out to dinner and then was up until 2:30 in the morning because I had the live. And then this morning I had a 9 o'clock appointment and had to be up and out the door at 8:30. And I have been going nonstop all day. I mean, literally, I'm going on coffee. Thank God the coffee in this country packs the wallop it does. It's terrible, and you can chew it, but it does rather pack a wallop. Yeah, Dark Irish, I don't know, man. That's one of the things that took up so much energy today, because we had a 2-hour rehearsal from 4 to 6 for Sunday, and then one of the stand-ups, it's her first stand-up ever, and she wrote her own material. And so she stayed for an extra hour to rehearse that material and to work through her script. So that was 3 hours of rehearsal today, on top of everything else during the day. So yeah, no, I'm fucking exhausted. Hey, Mel K, how you doing? Russell, you're right. I should keep my mouth shut about the coffee. I'll get knifed over that. There's nothing to be done, Karina. What am I going to do? I mean, it's not like I'm forced to do any of this stuff. This is all stuff that I want to do. I want to be here with you talking about Ukraine. I want to be doing I want to be doing it all. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, forgive me if I am a little tired. So gasoline production in Russia apparently is off by 25%. And that's likely because most of the gasoline production happened at the Ryazan plant and at the Tatarstan plant. And so with those plants offline, it's a real problem for Russia. Russia's going begging to Belarus for gasoline and Kazakhstan for gasoline. And the volume of gasoline that they can provide is extremely limited. Russia has large needs, especially the military needs for diesel, and the Air Force needs, the Aerospace Force, whatever, needs for jet fuel. It's a problem. The thing about the Russians, Russell, is that they don't have any storage. The amount of storage in Russia is extraordinarily limited. It's extraordinarily limited because they have some of the largest proven oil reserves on the planet, and they have more refineries than just about anybody else on the planet. And so they've always lived in this just-in-time economy where they can take the shit out of the ground, they can process it into refined oil products, and they can have it at market, all in a 14-day cycle. And the storage is becoming Roman candles. Exactly, Fitzy, exactly. 22, Russell. They have 22 refineries, and 4 of them are either shut down or at about half capacity. 2 are shut down completely by last count, and 2 are at half capacity. Right off the bat, those 2 that are at half capacity, that's a total loss of 6% of all production capacity for the country. Those 2 plants each normally process 340,000 barrels of oil a day into refined oil products. And it really pissed me off, Bobby, that Lloyd Austin said what he said. It pisses me off that our president can't stand up to these guys. It's really disappointing. Thanks, Simon. Yeah, Mel, I saw your comment. You had a comment somewhere about how Ukrainian lives are worth more than the self-indulgent need of the West for cheap products, something like that. And that really resonated with me. I thought you really hit it on the head with that comment. Because that's exactly what it is in an election year. That's the other piece of it that's so irritating to me, is that it's our own internal politics. It's 5:20 a.m. in the Philippines. So Lars, you're 5 hours ahead of me? Just 5 hours. Gosh, I thought it would be more than that. Wow. Damn Skippy, Dusty. Ukraine has no choice. It's an existential struggle. It's huge. And the Kremlin is pouring $9 billion. That's US dollars, not rubles. $9 billion worldwide into disinformation campaigns to disrupt those elections. You know, if you spend $9 billion, you could live in a country where 1 out of 5 people didn't have to use an outhouse. Eugh. Okay, the European Parliament, the gas and oil prices. Did you guys see the video of those Ukrainians stealing the Russian tank? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's my best news all day. And the missile strike. Man, that's it. Those were the big things I wanted to talk about. So, Cannonball Cruz, man, I haven't seen you in a million years. How you doing, pal? I don't understand how Russia's getting away with a war they started. 6,000 nukes, buddy. They got 6,000 nukes. And that scares the shit out of the establishment diplomatic corps. Must have been worried about friendly fire driving the stolen tank back. I don't think they were. I think they had their guys on the horn because there's drone footage of them going out and picking it up. And so I think they were under constant surveillance by their own people the whole time. The tank that they got had a big anti-drone EW system on top as well. Is that true, dude? Oh, we're definitely not as evolved as they told us we were when we were kids. Remember when we were kids, they told us there are animals and there are angels. And between the animals and the angels is man, beloved of God, yada, yada, yada. Such nonsense. Really? Big EW system on that tank. Interesting. Now, I know a lot of Russian tanks have been fitted with what are supposed to be electronic warfare components, but when you take them apart, they turn out to be empty casings. That's been a big complaint of the tankers, that the EW systems that they've been getting are just shams. No, they do not care about life at all. They definitely do not. They definitely do not. They'll probably find parts from the Atari 2600 in them. Fitz, you really are an optimist. You think that the Russians are even bothering to put parts in there? You're a riot. When Sweden and Finland joined NATO, I was like, we're getting the band back together again. Yeah, from 1642. Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out, PT, if there really is something in there. They lost another T-90M today. I can't believe they only lost one. Is Sophus Peterson here? Sophus Peterson was the inspiration for the Robin Williams ripoff, the Good Morning Vietnam video that I did. Hey, Jason, we're on a mission from NATO. We have half a pack of cigarettes, a full tank of gas. It's nighttime, and I'm wearing sunglasses. It's 128 miles to Chicago, and we're on a mission from God. Morning, Ben. The Bucha. Blues Brothers, one of my favorites. I hate Belgorod Yahtzees. That's awesome. Hey, Demood. Hey, Mad Mike. Ballerina. Jacob King. Yeah, Bobby, you might have a point, pal. You might have a good point. All right, questions, comments, points of observation, or personal need. Again, I want to thank Lars from Encino Tech for sponsoring tonight's live. I want to thank everybody that said so many nice things to me during the recent 3 weeks of bands. I took on a bunch of other projects because of the bands, and now I'm really paying for it today. Oh, sorry, 40. Or or whoever you are, whatever it is. Yeah, thanks, Music Man. What new job? I don't have a job. Are you talking about at Uncle Freddie's place? Oh, that's cool, Cannonball. Is that Louisville, Kentucky? Hey, Atlanta. Thank you, Rational Squirrel. It is nice to be back. Will Russians follow the fate of the dodo anytime soon? Well, I think they're unlikely to get roasted alive by pirates to the point of extinction, but I could be wrong. There's no way to know. The grumpy mailman. I don't know how you start a tank. I mean, they don't have keys, right? It's not like somebody tosses you the keys and says, hey, bring my tank around. That's not a thing, right? It must be like just some controls that anybody can work if they know how. I would think. Anyway. I don't know. I don't know shit about tanks. In the case of the Russians, Blue Ariels, it might actually be a push start, meaning you have to get out and push the tank. You press up, down, left, right, circle, square. YouTube University. I'm going to have to check it out. All right, guys, listen, you know what? I am exhausted. It's really catching up with me now. Whatchamacallit, does anybody have any serious questions that I can address before we call it a night? And then I'm going to call it a night. Thank you, Eli. Thank you, Fitz. I appreciate it. Thank you, Karina. I'm going to sleep well tonight, I think. Good night, Bobby. Good night, Feisty. Bonne nuit. How many missiles hit Kyiv? Jason, I don't have an answer to that question. Are you talking about in the early morning attack today? If you're talking about today's early morning attack, let me just take a look here. Only 24 missiles got through air defense across the entire country. So there's no way that 18 of them were in Oh, well, wait a second. Hold on. If all 12 of the S-300s that came in from Belgorod were targeted at Kharkiv, and none of those were hit by air defense, all 12 of those S-300s could have impacted Kharkiv. So the truth is probably right in the middle, bud. Or just about 12 is what it... There were 12 S-300s fired from Belgorod. And their target would have been Kharkiv, definitely. And none of them were intercepted. I think so. Now, that's a guess, pal. I don't have any solid data. If you get some, I'll be interested to know how close I was to something like the truth. It's the best moderator team on the Tickety Talk, Mel. Have no doubt. Big thanks to Cheyenne, PT, John Williams, Travis, and Jay. Also, big thanks to Nightshade, who runs the Peters Peeps group. Lars, who runs the Discord server. Thank you, Sophus. Thanks for the inspiration, pal. I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun to do. Good night, Music Man. Night, Hobo. Night, Richard. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna go to sleep right now, actually. Yes, I am. I'm done. I am totally done. I can't do the back-to-back 20-hour days the way that I used to. Not even for 2 days in a row. I can't do it. It's weird being the same age as old people. Nothing on why USA says Ukraine can't strike refineries. The US never really said that. They said that they thought that Ukraine should focus on military targets and avoid disrupting the global supply chain. Well, crude oil prices are being disrupted by OPEC's monopoly and market manipulation. Their production cuts of 2 million barrels a day to drive the prices up. And the Houthi interference in the Red Sea and the Suez Canal driving tankers to go all the way around the tip of Africa, adding 3 to 6 weeks to the voyage. It's not Ukraine that's doing that. And I think Be Nice makes an excellent point when they say refineries are military targets when they are owned by the junta that rules the country and uses that income to fund its illegal war of genocide. Buonasera. Buonasera, Roberto. Yeah, and that is the other thing that really burns my ass, is that they give this advice or make these recommendations when they're not helping. When by their inaction, they are doing everything to give a green light to the Kremlin, to the mullahs in Iran and their proxies, to the Kim regime in North Korea, that they can threaten their neighbors with nuclear annihilation and get their way. Because that's the message we're sending right now. The Kremlin thrives on our weakness. You don't have a fucking microphone. But you're not wrong, Fitz. Guys, I'm sorry to cut it short, but I am going to cut it short tonight. During the 3 weeks of bans, I took on a bunch of other projects, and it's all coming to a head this week. And I should probably get some sleep. All right, but I will see everybody tomorrow night, okay? Big thanks to Lars from Encino Tech, who is the sponsor of tonight's live. Nighty-night, and see you tomorrow. Take care.